Unfortunately, in this country, we have some pretty idiotic students on college campuses, from New England Ivy League colleges all the way down to the state of Florida. You have students in supposedly pro-Palestine groups that have placed the blame at Israel's feet. That is backwards. It is wrong. It is offensive. At the same time, in this country, the United States of America, we have a right to free speech. I saw that earlier this week, in recent days, Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida, a government actor, sent a message to the state universities via the person who's in charge of certain of those state universities.
Scandals, when responded to date, I will never accept the infringement of American rights. We need people in office who understand that and do not give into smear mission campaign. This is coming as a result. Vivek put out a video trying to respond to Ron DeSantis.
And you don't think Donald Trump can beat Joe Biden?
I don't. I mean, I think that I think that.
Would you endorse him if he is the nominee?
Well, I've already said that I signed the pledge. I'm supporting the Republican nominee.
Do you think it's real?
Well, for me, it is. I mean,
when you take a look at this tweet, free speech does not just protect the ideas we love, it protects the ideas we hate. The idiotic college pro-Palestine student groups are dead wrong to excuse genocide attacks against Jay and spew disgusting anti-Semitism. But one of the things that make us different from Islamic terrorists is we don't silence dissent. It is shameful political ploy for Ron DeSantis to ban the existence of pro-Palestinian student group, Florida University,
Palestine groups that have placed the blame at Israel's feet. That is backwards. It is wrong. It is offensive. At the same time, in this country, the United States of America, we have a right to free speech. I saw that earlier this week, in recent days, Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida, a government actor, sent a message to the state universities via the person who's in charge of certain of those state universities that they would require the disbanding of pro-Palestinian student groups. These student groups are dead wrong in their beliefs, but part of what it means to live in the United States of America, part of what makes us different from them, from the Hamases and the terrorists of the world, part of what makes us different is that we do embrace the free and open exchange of ideas. And free speech means nothing if it's just about protecting the speech we agree with. Free speech rights are really about protecting the speech we disagree with most. Now, I've been preaching this message to the left for a long time. Left-wing cancel culture has gone off the rails in the last 3 years in this country. Certain things you can't say about the BLM movement, they would say, or I'll censor you. Truth depends on free speech and open debate. And you know what else depends on it? Peace. If you tell people they can't speak, that's when they scream. If you tell people they can't scream, that's when they tear things down. Our founding fathers understood that, and we have to understand it today. So though I've preached this message to the left, and even the likes of Governor DeSantis happily joining me in that crusade, we have to practice what we preach when it comes to the speech we disagree with as well. Change their minds or anything else if we had in return by telling them they have to disband and can't exist, especially when it's a government actor doing it. It's a First Amendment violation. This isn't a politically popular position for me to adopt right now as a Republican presidential candidate. But I'm in this race to speak the truth, not just when it's easy, but when it's hard. That's what it's going to take to revive our national identity as Americans. And you know what it means to be an American? You know what the First Amendment says? Whether or not I agree with you, you get to speak your mind in the open, and you can't recharacterize someone's speech, just their opinion, their statements, as material support for a terrorist group. We made those kinds of mistakes after 9/11 in this country, the Patriot Act, and countless pieces of legislation that followed that we should regret today. And I don't care whether you're on the right or the left, we have to stand by those American principles that respect our Constitution, that respect our Bill of Rights, and respect that First Amendment, the idea that you get to speak your mind as long as I get to in return. And I do think that's a difference of opinion that we have amongst the various candidates in this Republican primary.
Yes, I believe you heard Vivek. I want to know your opinion pertaining to this. I have seen different people with different reactions pertaining to this topic, but at this level, I don't get it. I love Ron DeSantis, though I disagree with some of his political views. You know, during this campaign, he took up this decision recently and he is receiving a little massive backlash on this. These people coming out to demonstrate in schools, I don't really see this to be right. If you want to be safe into if you want to be safe in any university, stay out of political issues because they will always lead you into trouble. That is the truth. No matter how we are angry, we should understand this, especially when you are just studying in a country, a lot can happen. So, precautions should be taken. Now, taking a look at Vivid, he said this. Vivid responded, the First Amendment protect not just the ideas we love, but the ideas we hate. Expressing an opinion can count as material support for a terrorist organization, or as we are going on our way to a totalitarian state that no different from those of the enemies we purport to fight. The pro-Palestinian student group statement are dead wrong. If they violate the law through violence or otherwise, they should be held accountable. But we can't ban the expressions of an opinion, no matter how heinous it is. This should clearly tell you one thing. Ron DeSantis doing this, he is being criticized on both parties, though a lot of people embrace this idea. But sometimes when I look at it, we are divided at this point. People will say this is wrong are losing followers. People will say this was right, are losing followers. Then I ask myself, where are we teetering to? Because we really can have a constructive talks on these issues. You will say this, you hurt your brother, you say that, you hurt your sisters. So at the same time, this is confusing. Vivid actually put out this video simply because Ron DeSantis has done a lot which people criticize. And I myself, I love Ron DeSantis, that is a fact. He could take a different decisions, to actually warn these people for what they are doing. To say you should not be able to say some kind of things, into school campuses. They did not destroy. That is what people are saying. Then after doing this, if they violate any policies, he can now take up. I don't support any group that target another people. Reasons I've always report this topic respecting every person.